Okay, is this gonna look okay? Hey guys, so this is a day in January and beginning of a new year, and I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about how minimalism has changed my life. So let me back up. Pre-minimalism, that I started back about 2018. So I've always, well, let me back up. Golly, where is my mind going? Okay, so for 8 years I worked as a 911 dispatcher, and I did that full time for a while. And then when baby number 2 came along, which was in 2010, 11, he was born in 2011, but sometime around into 2010, sometime in 2011, I started working part-time. During all of that time, I started looking for jobs where I could work from home, and I have been working from home since about that time. So with that, and on top of being a mom, on top of homeschooling my kids, on top of being an artist and running my own business, I just felt like I was unable to keep up with everything that life demanded of me. And I knew that I had a benefit over everybody else because I was able to work from home. But why in the heck was it so hard to keep house? Like, what is the deal? Was it me? Was it my house? What? So I got really serious about time management, and I thought maybe that's it. Maybe I just don't spend my time the way that I should. So I started reading books 168 hours. I started tracking all my time. And I figured out that I could keep a clean house if I worked in my house 3 hours a day. Yes, I'm dead serious. 3 hours a day. I'm not joking. I wish I was. So I got to thinking, there's no way. It should not take me 3 hours a day just to manage the house. And by manage the house, I'm not saying eating supper, like preparing supper, doing laundry, doing dishes, all of the stuff that you should do. It took me 3 hours. And if I did not work 3 hours per day in my house, it looked like we were about a week into battling some kind of weird foreign alien object that was in my house. So because of all of that, I struggled, my self-confidence struggled, I couldn't keep house, what was wrong with me, blah, 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 and trying to keep up with everything that life was throwing at me. You know, I was working from home. By this point now, I have got 3 kids. My dogs don't ever bark until I'm doing a bed. Okay, I let them out myself. Okay, so anyway, I thought, you know, there's something that I've got to do. It should not take me 3 hours a day to clean my house. I mean, like, how do these people that work full-time manage everything that they do? Now, I realized I had a unique circumstance because I was trying to work from home with my 3 kids home all the time. That gets interesting. And then trying to have time during the day to get their schoolwork done. Mathematically, it was not working out. I basically done nothing but responsibilities all the time. And because of that, I got depressed and my adrenals gave out. And a lot of people will say that's bull, that's not. It is. I went and had my cortisol levels tested and rock bottom, and it can do a lot to your health. Basically, I didn't want to do anything but lay in the bed. I felt horrible. And I'm not but 35, and this was back almost 2.5 years ago. So I was like in my early 30s then. So one day, laying in bed, feeling sorry for myself, flipping through Netflix, I come across The Minimalist, and you can look them up on Netflix. It's an awesome documentary. I encourage everybody to watch it, and I was hooked, and I thought, oh my gosh, because they're talking about how their life is, they do what they want to do with their time, they're not tied down by all these bills, they don't have all this stuff to tie them down, where they can go and do what they want to do. And at this point, that's where I was. I wanted to be able to live life enjoyably instead of just meeting the demands of every day. So, first of all, I needed to get my mind wrapped around this whole concept, and I couldn't do it here because there was stuff everywhere. And so I spent a lot of time camping. We have an RV, and I just got out in nature, away from all the stuff, and just what would my life look like if I didn't have all of the stuff that I had, not the people that I had in my life. I love my people, my family, my peeps, but without all the stuff. So it honestly has been a very slow process. I didn't just wake up and just start throwing everything that I own away. it has been slow process by slow process. So now I am, in my own terms, a minimalist. And what is a minimalist? It's going to depend on who you ask as to what the definition is going to be. For me, I'm a minimalist because I don't buy things that I don't need. And so if I do need something like clothing or something, I'm not just going to go buy it brand new. I'm going to look and see if I can find some at a secondhand store to make it work. So in the beginning with all this, it strictly was, I was just tired of the stuff. I was tired of maintaining it. My house wasn't a nasty mess, but I had clutter. Like, I had stuff everywhere. I had those plastic 3-5 containers with drawers everywhere. Like, my walls were lined with me trying to organize my crap. And so finally it hit me, the answer is not to organize it, it's to get rid of it. So there is a rule that the minimalists have. If it's less than 20 bucks or less than 100 bucks and I haven't used it in the last 6 months, get rid of it. So that some of the people in minimalism go extreme, like they only own things that they can fit in a backpack, whatever. That is not for me. I have a family. I've got 3 boys, my husband and I. That doesn't work. So our rules started out that we would just go through and get rid of extra things in the kitchen that I didn't use. It really wasn't at this point getting down to bare necessities. It was, let's just get rid of the stuff that I haven't used in a while. And then that grew into, do I really need 30 pair of blue jeans? No, I don't. Let's just get rid of the ones that I don't love. And then it spilled over into makeup products. It goes bad in 6 months anyway. Just get rid of the ones that I don't use. And then it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And as time went on, people started asking, well, what can I get you for Christmas? And it went from always wanting stuff, like I used to get paid and would try to think of things to go buy. It went from wanting the stuff to wanting experiences. So people would say, well, what do you want? I would like some gift cards to go out and eat, or I'd like to go to the movies, or I want to go on a camping trip. Just give me some money to put toward my camping trip. And what it did is it helped me mentally and emotionally because I was getting to do the things that I wanted to do, and it wasn't tying it down to something. It gave me something to look forward to. So now fast forward, here it is, January 2020. I started all this in October of 2018. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. I can maintain my house in less than 45 minutes a day. And that is, I get up every morning, I clean my bathrooms really quickly, I make up my bed. If the floors need to be swept or vacuumed, I got a little vacuum that I do. I do a load of laundry every day, and I do the dishes every day. And I even cook at home for supper every day. I hope you just got home. It literally takes me less than an hour to do all of that stuff. And I love it because I have so much free time to do the stuff that I want to do. To sit down and sew, to sit down and do Bible journaling, to play games with my kids. And I don't constantly yell at them, get this up, get that up, get this up. We went through, we've got rid of all the clothes. We have like 14 shirts. The kids have more than we do. They've got like 14 shirts, 8 pair of pants, whatever. The rest of it is gone. Like, we got rid of it. We didn't keep hand-me-downs because we can go to the store financially and we can buy what it is that they need as far as clothing goes. Let me let the hubbies in. Okay, totally unflattering view, but I thought of something as I was driving, and my both hands are on the steering wheel, so I'm just going to set my phone right here and talk to you guys. So it hit me, another thing over the last couple of years that I have realized is that we have a nature built into us as a hunter and a gatherer. So whenever, years and years and years ago, even when my grandparents were little, that urge to hunt and gather was to keep you alive. So they had to hunt, they had to gather food, they had that was built into them to keep them alive. But now in today's age, we don't have to hunt for our food or gather. We can go to the supermarket and it really doesn't take that much of our time. But we still have that within us, that hunter and gatherer instinct. So what happens is, now we have adopted unhealthy ways to fulfill that desire. And you can't turn it off because it's something that is in you to keep you alive, but you can definitely manage it. So there is, if you ever noticed yourself looking for something to hunt for. So we like to go to the supermarket, we like to hunt for this, or you like to get online and you like to hunt for that, or you may find that you like to gather all of this stuff together to do a project, but then when it comes time to do the project, you don't do it because you've been hunting and gathering this stuff to do it. That is something that you have to learn to manage in order to keep your home minimalistic after you have it the way that you want it. You can't go back to the old ways, or it's just going to end right back up into the same way that you were before. So find new ways to satisfy that urge, that hunter-gatherer urge. So if you're a mom, you can use housekeeping as your way to hunt and gather. So you can go through your house and look for things that need to be done. The art of housekeeping is simply doing the things that you see that needs to be done. So go through your house and look. Are the fans dusty? Are the curtains dusty? Are the baseboards dusty? You know, hunt and gather in that way. Find something for you to do. Gather up your supplies there to do it, and then do it. So you can fulfill that hunter-gatherer instinct without shopping and using consumerism and all of that stuff. So I just thought about that, and I had to throw that in there. So now back to your regularly scheduled video. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, we don't have tons of kids' clothes. I mean, if you keep finding that there's kids' clothes all the time getting messed up, or you're constantly having to do laundry or whatever, it's a sign you've got too much stuff. So we went through, we got rid of all the boys' clothes that, like I said, we kept like 14 shirts because they're smaller, they're going to have spills, stuff's going to get dumped, whatever. My oldest son, he doesn't have as much stuff. But now, like for Christmas, for the last 2 years, family has asked what they could get, and the boys want new wardrobes for Christmas, and so they get new clothes for the winter season, and that's their Christmas. So it's something that's beneficial. It doesn't clog our house up with stuff that doesn't even get used, and they have good clothes or new clothes. As far as if they outgrow stuff or whatever, again, we're trying to shop secondhand, or unless something is on clearance. For us, it has turned into somewhat of a mindfulness about the environment. What is happening whenever I constantly keep going out and buying new clothes that I don't need? Where is it ending up? Where is all this plastic ending up? In the landfill, you know? So it has went from, in the beginning, I didn't really care about the environment as much, and so it's definitely grew into something now that I do think about and consider more often. Something else that has really helped us. Again, we purged all of our clothes. Like, you don't need 30 pair of underwear. Like, seriously, have 5 or 7 pair. Get rid of it. You don't need 20 bras. You know, get rid of it. You don't need all of that stuff. And so I think a lot of times that if you've been through a hard time financially, like we have in the past, you can get into a trap of wanting to hang on to stuff for security. But all it does is clog up your life where you can't receive the other stuff that is coming into your life. So just get rid of it. A lot of people ask, well, how did you know where to start? Start in the area that you feel the most shame. So if somebody come over to your house, and what is the one room you'd be like, oh no, they do not need to go there. That's where you need to start. You start in the area where you're the most embarrassed. Maybe your entryway is a mess. You know, do something about that area. Then move on to the next area. You cannot do your whole house. You didn't make the mess in a week, and it's not going to be clean in a week. I've been on this journey now for over 2 years, and it has done more, like our whole life now has completely changed, because after you get rid of the things and you realize I don't need all this stuff that I thought that I once did, I realized that I don't need all the people in my life that I thought I needed. And that, I know that may sound horrible, but allow me to explain myself. I was treated, or I allowed myself to be treated just any way. And I didn't stand up for myself, and people would bad talk about me, whatever. And I just let it go on, thinking that I had to let that go on because that's who they were, and they were in my life because they were family or XYZ. And that is just not true. You do not have to hang around people who do not love and appreciate you. And, you know, maybe they'll change, maybe they won't. But I had to get rid of a lot of people out of my life that just made me feel bad about who I was, you know. I was made for a reason. You were made for a reason. You were made for who you were. And of course, we've all got things we want to work on. But if somebody's going to constantly diss who you are, just find you a new tribe. That's what I do. You know, and not to be superficial, or I have deeper, more meaningful relationships now. I've got, you know, my extended family that I see at times. I don't expect them to be my root system of friends. I have found people that has grown over the last couple of years that they get who I am. They appreciate me. They love me. We have the same morals we agree about. We don't gossip about each other. And it took a while to find those people, but just pray about it and God will bring them to you. I'm so grateful now for my close-knit few friends than I was before with just anybody and everybody in my life that I allowed to be in there. So, and now the minimalism has went over into our finances. Now that we're not buying a bunch of stuff, we have more money, and now we see that we don't need all the things that we thought that we did. We're not out buying things on credit because we just don't. If we want it, we can save up for it. If we need it, we don't have to get the most expensive one. We've paid off a ton of debt, and I'm looking forward to so much change even in 2020. I can't wait to see. And then it's went over into other areas of our life, like our outside life. I mean, our outside yard, all of this stuff. So if you're considering minimalism, I say go for it. Just jump in and realize that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. If you're overwhelming yourself, you're trying to do too much too fast. Each day, just get up, set a goal. I'm going to at least declutter for 15 minutes today and tomorrow and the next day. And then if you want to work more than 15 minutes, great. And if not, you met your goal after 15 minutes. And just start donating it. If it's something that you're not really sure, put it in a box. Put the date on it that you did it and say, okay, if I've not needed anything out of this box in the next 3 months, I'm just going to haul it off, because if you really needed it, you would have needed it by now. And toys, and that's another thing. Everybody's like, you've got 3 kids, age 13, 8, and 6. What about toys? They used to have, I'd lie you not, their closets were slammed full of toys. The closet door wouldn't shut. Then we moved everything downstairs into a playroom, and they had this whole room of toys. And we got to noticing that they never played with it. Why did we need to keep it? So now we have one tub. It's like a 30-gallon tub. They know if it can't fit in the tub, they got to get rid of something that is in the tub that they don't want as much as the new thing. But honestly, we've tried to incorporate with this with our kids, as far as they get toys at birthdays and Christmas if they want toys. And like I said, they've got to where they're asking for gift cards for things now, but they have to earn an allowance and they have to purchase the things that they want. And we do that because it's easy for you to want if somebody's just going to give it to you, if somebody's just going to buy it for you. If you have to work for it and you have to think about how much time and effort and energy went into making that money, you may not be as willing to just throw it away otherwise. So our boys, we don't pay them a 50-cent a week chore. We pay them a pretty good bit of money for their chores based upon what they do. But they don't just get an allowance if they didn't do. So, you know, and then if they want to buy something, they can. But the rules are, if it doesn't fit in the 30-gallon tub, something else has to go. So, yeah, pretty much our boys are boys and they go outside and play. So toys for us is not a big deal. But I promise you, if you take the toys that your kid does not just absolutely love and put them up, if the kid asks for the toy, then later go back and get it out. And then if they don't ask for it within a certain amount of time, just get rid of it. I promise you, they are happier with less. Hear me when I say this, mamas. They are happier with less stuff than they are with more. They are more creative. They do artwork. I mean, it is amazing. They use their imaginations. They go outside and they play cowboys and Indians or whatever it is. They don't have to have that stuff to be a kid. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you've got questions, again, I can't reiterate this enough. If you're considering minimalism, I say jump in, start somewhere, don't overwhelm yourself. This has started in October of 2018. Here it is January of 2019. It's longer than that. It was 2 years. So it was January 2017. Yeah, October. October 2017 that I started on this journey. So it's been 2.5 years now, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have grown so much as a person, and now it's like I'm content sitting at home. I sew. The one area of my life, here's my little dirty secret, that I cannot go minimalistic is my craft room, y'all. I'm sorry, but craft supplies are one of them things. You need it today, and then you're on a new craft tomorrow. My craft room is still the craft room. I don't know if I'll ever be minimalistic there, but now I've got all this free time on my hands I can do with what I want to do. Crafting is what I like to do. So there you go. Some people sit and watch hours and hours of TV. I can't stand to sit and watch TV. I craft. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you've got a question, drop it in the comments below and I will try to answer. If you enjoyed this video, I've got other videos I will post here somewhere of other videos in my minimalism journey about me going through different rooms in my house and getting rid of stuff. And if you do like it, make sure you click the round bubble up here that's for the subscribe, and click the bell to be notified as soon as I post new videos. And as always, keep me updated. Find me over on Instagram. If you do something decluttering, getting rid of, going minimalistic, post me, keep me updated. I want to hear what you have going on in your life. Until next time, I love you.